Well, Happy New Year, everybody. I just want to welcome everybody to the Success 2020. We are glad that you decided to join us today. And this is the big news is what a difference a year makes, right, Raphael? Last year, Happy New Year. Government's closed down. Not this year. This year, 2020 budget's passed, $738 billion going to DOD and $662 billion going to non-DOD, and all of it will be spent within the next 261 days. Why is it going to be spent the next 261 days, Rafael Marrero?
It's called end of the fiscal year. Federal fiscal.
The end of the fiscal year, September 30th at 11:59 Pacific. And Hawaiian time, actually. If you do not start getting in front of the key decision makers right now, and do I mean now? I mean now.
Yesterday. You meant yesterday.
Right now. You will fall behind your competition again. Your competition's already there. They're already selling to the right people. I'm Dave Lowe. I'm the CEO of ISI Federal. We help get you in the federal government, make it manageable, profitable, and fun, because profit is fun. I don't care what anybody else says. Profit is fun. We've been around since 2009. We celebrated our 10-year anniversary back in November, shortly before you and I got together out in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where we were there. So over $440 million in direct and indirect sales. On the right-hand side of the screen, you will see all the things that ISI Federal is known for, market essentials, which includes slamming all the contacts and intelligence together so that we can tell you who's buying in your space and give you the roadmap to get there, number one, and we'll be talking about that a little bit. We also do professional business development support, which is pushing your message out there to the key decision makers, which is important because they're not calling you right now. And we can do dedicated sales representation here in DC, and it is definitely faster and cheaper than doing it yourself. And we have the proactive tools like you see on the right-hand side. We'll talk a little bit about GovBrief. Quick Fuse is a monitoring tool, and GSA Direct is how we push your products directly to GSA Advantage. We will talk about GovBrief a little bit more, but we will set you up as an expert in your field. That is what's going to be one of the things that gives you the key differentiators you need in order to separate yourself in the marketplace so that you get remembered to get ahead of RFPs. And I mentioned Rafael Marrero. I happen to know Rafael Marrero, who happens to have some kind of book thing going on. I can't read it because I'm a token gringo. There you go. So
because you're gringo.
Because I'm a gringo. That's right. And I just don't. But anyway, go to Amazon.com. Salsa Secreta. Tell us about Salsa Secreta. Tío Sam. What does that mean? Yep. Did I even do that even closer right?
You were there. You were in the neighborhood, man. You were in.
I can't believe it.
La salsa secreta del tío Sam. You've been around Hispanics long enough to know by now. It's Uncle Sam's secret sauce. It's the first government contracting handbook written by Hispanic for Hispanics, and it was specifically written in Spanish because there wasn't a single volume. There are numerous books in English language on government contracting for the federal government. I actually did some research and found out there were none in Spanish, so I decided to write it. And that has taken us to do webinars, seminars, presentations across the country. And Dave has been gracious and patient enough to humor me and accompany me on these trips, which have been a lot of fun.
We've had a great time. I mean, ever since you and I got together, Jiminy Christmas, like 3.5 years ago. What is it now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, Dave, if you don't mind, this is this book here, published by Palgrave Macmillan. I wrote a chapter. I contributed to it. It's called Implementing Supplier Diversity.
All right.
And it's actually, I have a chapter. I wrote the chapter here on certifications. So you can literally say I wrote the book and the chapter on socioeconomic certifications.
Oh, wow. Wrote the book and chapter on socioeconomic. And that's one of the most important things. And so let's give some folks some ideas of what that means. When you get your socioeconomic certification, it gives you, it benefits your company because it minimizes the competitive landscape. It gives the opportunity in a lot of instances to be able to sole source or reduce significantly the competitive landscape to choice of two. So tell us about certification, some of these folks that I happen to know, and some some really cool people. Just letting
Yep. Yep. So as you can see, it's not pie in the sky. These are real people, people that are in small business owners. Tony Noah, we helped him with his DBE and 8A certification. His company has grown exponentially. He's number 972 on the Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing companies in America. He's gone from a small shop in Miami Gardens to a very sizable organization in Doral with several acres of land where he does custom fabrication of rapidly deployable power solutions, custom power solutions, not just generators, for Department of Defense and other agencies. Santi Fernandez and Claimer Cruz were literally two Cubans and a pickup truck when they got started, and we helped them get certified. We helped rebrand them, refocus their attention on the right things. We increased their bonding capacity. They are now they've gone from a $700,000 a year company to $13 million over 3 years. And that's the result of some very, very focused guidance on our part. And of course, Miguel Lopez Jr., two-time Inc. 5000 honoree. He's gone from $7 million a year in revenues to $23 million. And all these customers that you see there are success stories from the last few years, among the many success stories that we've helped cultivate and we've been working with hand in hand.
And that's what's important, is that it's a holistic approach. You take a look at it, look at it holistically. What are the pieces that are necessary? A lot of great marketing materials. We'll talk a little bit about capability statements in a little bit, but the idea here is getting you established, getting you set up, get your ducks in a row. That's what that Rafael Marrero little duck thing down the bottom is getting your ducks in a row. And I really can't tell you how cool it is to be teamed up with you. And just having a good time when we're out. We love to have a good time. And if you ask anybody from the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, or especially the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber, right? Yep. We were out there. It was a lot of fun. Jamie Zell, I just texted him saying, where the heck are you? Are you here, Jamie? Are you just living in the background somewhere? I do not see Jamie here. He is the El Presidente. There's some Spanish.
He is the Gerard Depardieu lookalike. Is what he looks like. He looks like the French actor. I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
Gerard Depardieu. You're gonna see Jamie Zell's photo. I kid you not.
Oh my gosh. Anyhow, I had too much fun last night, obviously. Okay. He helps with GSA schedule development and maintenance. So you got to get your schedule if it's available to you. It doesn't make sense for everybody, but for a lot of folks, it does. And the objective there is to get you in front of federal decision makers and have a vehicle. GSA contract vehicles, one way to be able to leverage your pricing. You get pre-approved pricing, and Jamie can help you do that, and maintenance of that, because there's modifications and things. And if you think the government does everything that makes sense, you're in the wrong place, because they don't. And GSA, Jamie from GSA Logic can help with that. And with us, we have Mr. Greg Clark, 2 G's and an A at the end.
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing? Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year to you, man. So I'm going to give some high praise to Greg, because he has the capacity and the wherewithal to help people on the proposal writing side, which is still important even when you have relationships. Am I right, Mr. Clark?
You're very right. But before you go further, I want to thank you. I have a client, RJ Noggles, who's very excited about getting started with you, and Kelvin Wright, who's very excited about getting the 8A started with Rafael here shortly. I'm pushing him on that because he wants to get involved with 8A Stars 3, and I said, well, you got to be 8A first.
That's right.
So
8A Stars 3. That's right.
It helps.
Exactly. So I talked to them both this week, and they're both excited about it.
And I talked with RJ. When did I talk with him? I think it was Friday. And everything's great. And thank you, because that came directly from you, my man. And I can't thank you enough for your confidence in both of us. And the fact of the matter is, we have a little bit of confidence all the way around, right? Because
we got a good network going.
It is really fun. And
agreed.
Because we tell us what you can do, and we'll talk a little bit more about this, but in proposal writing, what are some of the most important things, and why do you even do what you do?
I think the most important thing when you're, as far as pursuing contracts and competing for contracts and the RFP bidding on RFPs is if there's something that's going to prevent you from winning a contract, you have to identify that as fast as possible and not spend resources, time, and money pursuing contracts that you're not going to win, and you should have realized that you're not going to win it. And it might be in the performance requirements, it might be in the proposal requirements, or the evaluation criteria, or the history of the contract. If everything looks great, but you don't realize that the company's been operating that for 30 years, they're going to probably operate for the next 5 also. So that's really what it is. And when you're identifying projects and going through your bid, no bid process.
And I'll tell a quick story on that, is that way back, 2010, I think it was, 2011, something like that. We had a large company here, as a produce company, come to us and say, hey, we want to win this contract. It's $80 million a year in one segment for produce and Defense Commissary Agency. And we said, well, okay, we'll develop a proposal. This is before I knew you, Craig, but we were going to develop a proposal team, and it's going to be $65,000 just to do the proposal. Just saying. Mm-hmm. And so I actually said to him, I said, hey, how about we find out if we can win first? And that story it was a great story, because at the beginning of that, I didn't know anybody in DECA, and in the middle of that whole thing, I knew the main man, the director of DECA, Joe Jew, took over, and I knew him, which meant I could swim in any lane I wanted down there. But I can tell you this, to your point, that the incumbent had one customer, and it was DECA, and that one customer had paid that vendor $750 million as a small business, and implemented their whole entire ordering processing program with software that was dedicated to DECA to be able to do their, and everybody loved them. What are the chances somebody's going to win that on a recompete at 5 years? Right?
It's not going to happen. Not
happening. And while the produce company wasn't exactly happy with my answer, I said, guys, you can't win. And so it's very important to get to know quick, wouldn't you say? Greg?
Absolutely. And I do have a DECA story if you have any time today.
Yeah, let's talk about it in a few minutes.
Okay.
I don't know if Kyle's here. Kyle Shirley helps with funding your company from startup to SPA. You can reach out to Kyle there. It's BetterFin is the name. Oh, Jamie Zell is in the house. I will come back to you, Jamie. I already threw you under the bus for not being here, but that's okay. That's the way we roll. But we can reach out to Kyle. Peter Timmis also helps with special funding, especially contract funding, and they specialize in 8As. If you're an 8A, talk to Peter Timmis, or if you're deciding to be an 8A, you talk to Raphael, and then you talk to Peter. So you can help with that.
I can typically get him on the phone. Don't worry.
What's that?
I can get him on the phone. Call me first, and I'll get him on the phone for you.
Right. A little bit about this webinar. We have over 900 people registered. We keep peeling people off that aren't showing up. Every second Tuesday at 11 a.m., dialogue with federal sales experts, and that is I don't know how it looks on your screen, but to the left is Raphael, to the right is Jamie Zell. And we get real about how things work, develop winning strategies and tactics, and we show off a little bit, because guess what? Remember how much you paid when you showed up. All right. Do you GSA or don't? I do. Adam, if you could make sure you're launching these polls, because I do not want to slam my system. So do you have a GSA contract? The answer is yes, you do have a GSA contract, or I had a contract but lost it. I think there may be some people here with that. I want to get a GSA contract, or I need help to determine if I need a contract or if I can get one, because there are some restrictions. So Jamie Zell, since you're late to the party, tell us some of the restrictions with GSA. At least I think he's there. Jamie?
He's muted.
You there? I guess Jamie decided. Anyway, all right. So you guys can vote, and I'll tell you some of the restrictions. You have to be in business for 2 years. You have to be financially sound. Those are 2 restrictions that I know that Jamie talks about all the time. And with it, we'll give you another 5, 4, 3, 2, and what does that look like? Look at that. 46% have a GSA contract. I got a special thing for you folks. And you had a contract but lost it, only a few. That's okay. And I want to get a GSA contract, so we'll get you information on Jamie in just a second, and the determination. So half the people would like to determine. Thank you very much. We do appreciate you letting us know about that. And if you do have a contract, this is only for GSA contract holders only, because you can't even get Quick Views. You can't log in, you can't sign up, can't do anything, because it is monitoring GSA eBuy. And if you're not monitoring GSA eBuy, you should, because there's information. There's RFQs, RFIs that post on there, and you can get a test drive for 30 days. Sign up. You don't like it, you can kick it to the curb. If you do like it and you keep it to a year, we'll guarantee that you sell 500% more than you spend on Quick Views. How you like that? So there you have it. So sign up for Quick Views, QUIKFUSE.com. And a real quick disclaimer, this event is not affiliated or endorsed by GSA or any other agency. I don't know how many people we have here from the government, because I got here late myself, Jamie. And all participation in this briefing is voluntary, and engagement with government personnel is not an indication of purchase from you or me or Raphael or Jamie or anybody else on the call. Because guess what? That gives them the ability to share information with us, which we will. If you would like to make us larger or smaller, you can pick on the side. You can grab this little doodah thing, could be above or below. You can make us larger, or you can make us disappear altogether. And you can open that panel right there, and you can raise your hand. And I do have a couple of folks with questions and hands raised already, which is awesome. And you can chat questions in there. And we do, if you did call in on the phone, make sure you do pound your number pound so that we can unmute you. And handouts are there. We have 4 of them, I do believe. And those session handouts include a 90-second challenge with beta.SAM.gov. God forbid what they've done with that. Anyway, we'll talk. If you need a therapy session, that's going to meet at 3 o'clock for beta.SAM.gov therapy. I'm just kidding. We're not meeting. We have workarounds for that. So winnable opportunity matrix, we will be talking about that. ISI federal capabilities, just so you know what we do, and Going for Gold ebook, which is going to be written by 2 people here. That's right, baby. Raphael and I are going to be reworking both of our mentalities, which means it could be double nuts. But besides that, we're going to be reworking that, but you can download that. So why are we here today? We are here today because we want to win federal contracts. And so tell me how you wound up getting here. Select one of the following, which is, are you new to the federal space and looking for information? I have federal business and I want to grow. I need help finding buyers for my products and services. Everybody should be, you can check as many as you want, by the way. I need help marketing my company to the federal government, or some nut sent me an email. So I don't know who that nut might be, but the nut is present and accounted for. But yeah, if you pick what you like, and I tell you what, when it comes to federal government, we're going to talk about this in just a minute, because there's a lot of folks out there. Jamie, can you speak yet? You have the ability to dialogue, or are you just looking good today? All right. I don't know what Jamie. I don't know if he's
under an IT gag order.
So all right. So anyway, okay. Most people voted. We'll give another 5, 4, 3, 2, and boom. Let them out of here. Adam, show us what we got. Show us what we got. I'm new to the federal government. Nice. We're really glad. I'll tell you what, the folks that join us here that are new to the government really, it's really important because we don't blow sunshine and we don't tell you. So there's that. Okay, you can set that down because 14% can leave because they think I'm a nut, but that's all right. But selling to the government looks like this, right, Jamie? Can you talk? Jamie, we cannot hear you, man. I got no idea what's happening with your mic. Anyway, well, selling to the government, you got people that'll sell you a bill of goods and say, get a GSA contract, and boom, you're just in the money, right? Or money falls from the sky. This is a whole lot more realistic. You talk to anybody in the federal market, you talk to anybody that's successful, they'll tell you it's an uphill battle, and they don't make it easy. Oh, got people trying to Skype on me. So with that, you have a tremendous issue, and I want you to go ahead and take the 90-second challenge. Not now, but if you after this, take the 90-second challenge and see what happens when you do this so that you can understand what's happening in the marketplace. Look at how many contracts are given, right, in FPDS, and it's over 6 million when you get there, and look at how many come out on now beta.SAM.gov, God forbid, which follows everything that when I say beta.SAM.gov. The real story is we have to find and reach program managers as well as buyers. We got to get to both sides of the house. Isn't that true, Raphael?
That's right. You can't just sit there and wait for things to happen. You have to identify the key procurement decision makers.
And what is it that we need to do in order to be ready to go to market to get federal contracts? Because it's not just, you don't show up with your regular business card or anything like that, right? We got a couple things I want to show you in a minute.
No, you have to be contract ready. You have to be procurement ready for the federal market. And that means having a strong SAM presence, DSBS profile if you're a small business, SAM presence, a very strong capability statement that addresses the 6 C's, and a strong website that addresses just the right amount of information and conveys what you can do for the federal government buyers, not for the commercial sector, right? Very, very important.
Correct. And getting yourself ready, and we'll look at a couple of things that you've done actually with RAG and Castus and things like that. I have a couple of your capabilities we'll take a look at. We do have a couple of questions. Everybody can hear me, obviously, I think. Richard had a problem with audio. Manuel said schedule consolidation where hardly any. Okay, he's answered the question about GSA. Thanks for this webinar. Is it being recorded? Yes, it is. It is being recorded, as a matter of fact. And it will be recorded and posted to YouTube with all the rest of the ones that we do. So you can watch it over and over and submit it for Grammy Awards. Not Grammys. What are they? What are the awards? Whatever. Schedule consolidation. We are not seeing any good RFQs in Schedule 7736. That is not surprising. And asking a question about schedule consolidation, and I will reach out to you guys about schedule consolidation. I know that's happening. I know that's important. I know that's on people's minds. Is this live? Yes, it is, Trevor. And when do applications for STARS 3 begin? From Paul. And you want to take that one, Greg? When do applications?
The draft was posted in August, I believe August 9th, and nothing else has happened since then. So they're still, they have to go through all the feedback they got from that, and then take that feedback to update the package that they had. So I haven't seen any dates since August.
Yeah, and that goes.
But I do have a certification question for Raphael. Raphael, do you recommend that women-owned small businesses get certified or just self-certify? Is there any advantage to getting certified?
There are advantages, okay, and not only women-owned small business, but if they meet the criteria for economically disadvantaged women-owned small business, think of it as an 8A program for women. Basically, there are set-asides that can be obtained, contracts that are sizable in scope. So yes, it is worth it. There are some upcoming changes to that certification, so they may want to jump on it as quickly as possible and give us a call, because it will start changing quickly. And now that Jovita Carranza has just been confirmed as the administrator to the SBA, there will be many positive things happening, but there will be changes on the EDWOSP side of the house as well.
Thank you.
Good answer. Yeah. So so with certifications and obviously stay in touch with Greg about the 8A stars. So I'm going to jump into a quick point that I'm going to share, and most folks, if this is you can prove this with the 90-second challenge. Go to beta.SAM.gov with those links, and you will find this. Number one issue that everybody has is get ahead of the RFP. I'm going to tell you why in just a minute. But you've got to find buyers, and you got to get to the buyers. Does anybody disagree with that? That you've got to be out after these folks. And here's the reason. And you can go take a look. Again, do your due diligence for yourself and looking at beta.SAM.gov. Now, it's no longer FBO. I got it. I get it. It's beta.SAM.gov. But I'm telling you, from 2019, if you do the history, 75,770 hit FBO. At the time we did this back in November, 5.8 million. It is now up to 6.6 million hit FPDS. 98.7 never hit FBO. Now, you could say, all right, some of those are IDIQs and BPAs for those of you who are around in the federal government, indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contracts, and blanket purchase agreements. Both of these are very, very good things to have in the federal government. Am I right, Rafael Marrero?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We live for IDIQs and BPAs because they immediately reduce the competition down to IDIQ holders or BPA holders, period. It never hits the street again, which is why we pulled all these things together and I said, well, tell me if you take out the ones that posted on FBO for IDIQs and BPAs, the task orders and calls on those, we'll pull those out as well. That means 91% didn't hit FBO. This is why I got into this business back 10 years ago. When I saw this, I said, there's a big problem and there's other problems too, or at least let's reveal something else. 76% of all contracts have less than 5 respondents. This is direct reporting from FPDS. You can see. So we pull these things together. 76.4 of all contracts have less than 5 respondents. And watch this. Percent of all contracts have 1 or less, which means they just awarded it. This is outside of BPAs and IDIQs. 1 response. 1 response. So let's talk about the people who are choosing between 5 or fewer companies. Doesn't it make sense for us to get our hands around the people that are doing this? And that's why I have the winnable opportunity matrix. Download this. You can print it out. This is, I'm going to go through this real quickly. First of all, we want to know early. We want to know ahead of 60 days to get in the green. Our objective, get in the green across the board. We want to know early. We want to influence the process. Is it legal, Greg, to influence the RFP process?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Where do you think they get the specs from to begin with? They get it from people like us. We're feeding them constantly. The incumbent is being asked by the program people, what should this look like coming in for the upgrades or for the changes that are going to come out in the recompete. We want to minimize the competition. One big reason to have a certification, because what happens with 2 women-owned companies, Rafael Marrero, or service-disabled companies, or hubs-owned companies? What can they do?
Well, they can invoke the federal rule of 2, and then that you can limit it to just that category, that socioeconomic category.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And that's our job. We want to minimize the competition. I'll give you a secret. These folks do not want 50 respondents any more than you want 50 competitors.
That's right.
They don't want them. You don't want them. They don't want them. It's more work for them. So help them minimize that competitive landscape, and they do it legally on a regular basis. You can also influence the turnaround. I just talked to a client the other day. I saw something pop up on GSA eBuy. It has 7-day turnaround. And he's like, I don't have time. You're not sitting around waiting to spin something up in 7 days. Now you reach out to Greg. That's probably the right answer.
Thank you very much.
Greg can help you spin that up. Or get to know quickly. But the fact of the matter is, if it's a 7-day turnaround and it's a decent sized response, chances are they've already figured out who they want. And that's one of the ways that they minimize the competition. And we're talking about people. We want to drive all these people into the green, and we're going to talk about who those people are in just a minute. But we do know for a fact that the people who are choosing between the 5 or fewer companies are buying what you sell. We know that they're buying what you sell because they're buying it. But they're not calling or emailing you because they think they're set in who they have, and they're going to continue to think that unless you disrupt that pattern. You need to disrupt the pattern. They're not going to all of a sudden willy-nilly say, ooh, I want ABC company to come in, because they don't need what you have, or at least they don't think they do. Mm-hmm. And they're only going to let you in, when they decide, they come to the conclusion, they think that you deserve to be one of the 5. And that is the pitch that, if I can get anything across, is to make that. And Jamie, can you talk yet? Or are you just sitting there? I can't tell. Is he like frozen or something? He looks like he can talk. One of the ways that and I'll speak for you, Jamie. Can you hear? Can we unmute him? What is going on? Hey, Adam.
Yes.
Is he muted or something?
Hey, Dave.
There he is. Unbelievable. He
Did you pay that cell phone bill?
I know, I just downloaded the latest drivers as well for audio, but for some reason it's gacking audio-wise, not a problem. We're still out here doing the business. We're been in business for over 15 years, turning out GSA schedules. We guarantee the award. We've never missed, 100% success rate. Also, we do successful GSA schedule revisions and also administrative changes. So anything you need to do for your GSA schedule, be happy to help you out here with.
Absolutely. And so I'm gonna tell you just a couple of things that I wanted to point out for GSA contracts. It's a 5-year deal, right? But it actually can go 20, right? Right?
Yeah, 20 times 5 times 4. It goes 5-year extensions 4 times, so it'll go a total of 20 years.
20 years.
On one GSA schedule.
Exactly.
One investment.
And it gives you pre-approved pricing, so the government can buy from you. They can buy from you straight up, right?
Yes, direct from you without going out to bid. Your pricing is approved as fair and competitive, so you're actually pre-approved to do business with at all levels.
Excellent. And one of the things you always reiterate for everybody is that, and I talked with somebody else that I talked to yesterday that had they have multiple GSA contracts. They've had them. They had Log World, they had Mobus, and now that it's PSS. And the government, it's funny. The Navy has been buying from these guys for years. And one of the guys said, you should get a GSA contract and make it easier, right? What it did is made it easier for him to do the pricing with the Navy, but didn't use the GSA contract because the pricing's already pre-approved. Okay, GSA says stamp of approval, right? If they say, boom, they can buy through GSA, but they can also say this pricing is good and leverage and put that in their own BPA. That's what it was. It was a blanket purchase agreement. They can use it for BPA, whether they use GSA or not. And it shows stability of the company in that you're already pre-approved by GSA, right? So that gives you the capacity to do that. So, and it minimizes the competition. How does it do that, Jamie?
How does it do that as far as minimizing the competition?
Yep. On GSA eBuy, they can minimize. They can choose a SIN or they can choose the whole schedule. But no matter what, there's 15,000 companies, right about that. 14 to 15,000 companies that have GSA contract of the 3.1 million out there that want to do business with the government. Only 15,000 have them.
Well, they can pick any one. They can pick any one and go with that, even down to its smallest component. So that's why relationship selling is even more important than ever with having your GSA schedule. You make it easy for them to buy from you with a GSA schedule, and then you make them want to buy from you with a good relationship, which is what it's really all about.
Yep, and we're going to talk about that sales in just 1 second. I do have a couple of questions here. Meet with the buyers in person, right? Yes, Crystal, if you can, meet with the buyers in person. I'll take the phone call, though, as well. I'll take the phone meeting, A plus, face-to-face meetings, B plus, phone meeting. What we need is dialogue. The thought process that all of a sudden it's going to be fair and open or fair, period, without any influence from another vendor. You want to get, that's the dialogue that you want. It's currently taking 9 to 12 months or longer to have my GSA FSS contract modified, EPA approved, etc. I have a 621I FSS. I know, David, these delays are preventing our company from growing at the pace we should be. I agree, David. That you're absolutely right. And I would love to tell you that GSA has their act together. Hopefully, if there's anybody from GSA and they want to put their hand up and talk about this, we can. I will tell you, the issues with that are compounding because of the consolidation. And it's
changes, tons of changes.
Yep, tons of changes. So as a matter of fact, David, I'll make sure that you talk with Jamie to see if he can pull any back strings behind the scenes. I know you and Jenny, you got a lot of great relationships. You may be able to help there. And Crystal says, got it. Thank you. Good. How do you go about getting an IDIQ or BPA contract? Stephen, thank you for the setup. That's exactly where we're going. But in order to get a BPA contract, let's talk about the foundation of sales. It's doing the right things the right way with the right people at the right time. That's what your sales effort need to be. You got to be doing the right things. You have to have the preparations, right, Rafael Marrero? You got to have the pieces of the puzzle to be able to apply to them to say this will validate that I am a good company to work with. You got to do it the right way. You got to do it the right way, the right things in the right way, using those capability statements, your everything about your world revolving around the federal government the right way with the right people. And we're going to talk about the right people. The time is now and all the way through the end of September. That's your time frame. And my thought process is, if you're new to the federal government, and sit down, don't fall off your seat, 18 to 24 months minimum. 18 to 24 months minimum to be successful in the federal space. There's a reason why GSA gives you how long, Jamie, to make $25,000 first time?
24 months.
24 months. They give you 24 months to make $25,000 in order to keep your schedule. Because if you don't make $25,000, they may, and they will give you nasty grams, right? And they could cut your contract. But there's a reason why they give you 24 months, because you need it. A lot of folks don't ever make that $25,000 and lose 80%, not just a lot, 80%, which is why we're here. So doing it with the right people, what do they do? How do they make their decisions, and what do they need from you in order to decide to buy from you? Again, let's look at the winnable opportunity matrix. Get us into the green. The first thing I'm going to say is adjust your mindset. If you're looking at beta.SAM.gov, God forbid, and used to be FBO, or you're looking at forecasts, or you're expecting people to just stop in on your GSA advantage, adjust your mindset from being reactive to proactive, actually, physically, and on the phone, going out after these folks. Emails, phone calls, face-to-face meetings, and it's going to change your mindset from chasing opportunities and shooting out bids. Nothing wrong with bidding, right, Greg Clark?
Nothing at all.
Nothing's wrong with bidding.
Do it. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with bidding. However, if we're focused on opportunities and we wait until it hits beta.SAM.gov, Rafael Marrero, the word is, it is too
late.
Late. It is too late by the time it lands there. And I'll throw in. What's that?
Day late and a buck short.
That's right. So we're going to change our opportunity, because opportunities come from people, and winnable opportunities come from people who know, like, and trust us. It doesn't change. Do you do business with people you don't like? Do you do business with people you don't trust? Very difficult for people to know you, like you, and trust you if all you are is a DUNS number or a cage code.
Yep.
It takes more than that. And as a result, let's talk about these folks and the objectives. All right? So understanding the decision makers, contracting officers, they're not going to teach you how to do business with them. They won't do it. That's why they shove you off over doing the Heisman, right? Doing the Heisman, sending you to the OSDBU or the OSBU.
Or check FBO. Check
or FBO. Yeah. And we post everything on FBO. That's right. If there's anything you know from this, they do not post everything on FBO. They don't like new things. They're experts in moving paper. This is not to diminish what they do. They are professional people that handle contracts. That's their job. They don't care how good of an architect you are or what kind of Wizmo technology you have or disruptive technology or processes that you have or your management. They don't care about any of that. They just want to move that contract, and they want to select the purchasing mechanism. Very important to know. Talk about that in a second. They develop the contract requirements, and they want the fastest, easiest way to purchase. They want the fastest, easiest way to purchase. That's why if you have a GSA contract and it fits within their world, kapump, you can order. Or they may choose between 3 small businesses because they can legally. So what do? We give them a clear, concise capability statement, right, Rafael Marrero?
Absolutely.
And what we mean by clear and concise, if you think about your SAM record and your capabilities, they should line up pretty good, wouldn't you say?
Like your ducks.
Like your ducks, baby.
That's it.
And I think I have a slide. If not, I'm going to give you a chance to talk about your capabilities in a minute. But the preferred contract vehicle, do they prefer GSA schedule or maybe a BPA using your GSA contract numbers? They do it all the time. I used to think, by the way, that a BPA would take forever. We worked before I got into the federal world. One of the companies that I did consulting with Uncommon Results worked for 8 months to get a BPA with HHS. And I'm like, sheesh, that's crazy. I didn't have any idea that that later when I started getting into this world, I got a call. And they said, hey, do you have a GSA contract? I said, yes. Do you have a BPA with our agency? I said, no. And immediately I'm thinking, what was it? So we would like to develop a BPA with your agency. So my brain is going, good grief, that's 8 months worth of time. And I said, okay, what do you need from me? How long is that going to take? And they said, well, where are you? I said, excuse me, I'm in Baltimore. They said, well, I'll have it ready in 45 minutes. I had it ready by the time I landed. And then the other part is pre-filling standard forms. If you're selling something, give it to them the way they like to see it. This is making it easy for them. BPAs are easy for them. Pre-filled standard forms, easy for them. They can buy from you. And let's talk about bidding. Once you get there, Greg, what do they have to do? As soon as, because even if you have your BPA, you may have to bid even with a BPA or an IDIQ, right? You might have to.
I mean, the task order is you got to compete against whoever else is on that.
That's right. So tell us what you do once that solicitation lands. What are some steps that they should be doing?
You're talking about task order solicitations or to get on the BPA?
Well,
any solicitation.
I would do task orders because getting on the BPA takes a relationship.
Well, yeah, you're gonna evaluate it from the standpoints of performance requirements, proposal requirements, and evaluation criteria to determine if you have the experience and capabilities to win and perform properly.
Yep. And so you isolate. You say, okay, is this in our wheelhouse? Is it in our capabilities? And then you take a look at your past performance. Say, can we fulfill? Right. So
correct.
How important is past performance?
It's everything.
It's everything. What happens if you don't have past performance?
You're probably not going to win any government contracts.
You're probably not going to win. And how do you get past performance?
By winning government contracts.
There you go.
You probably don't need to start out as a subcontractor.
You might, and that's great advice. You can start out as a subcontractor, but the challenge is with subcontractors, it's still sometimes the CPARS doesn't relate, which means that you can't count that, or it doesn't show up. You can count that as subcontracting work, which they do. They do like. But the other part is start small. Don't go looking at a $100 million opportunity out of the gate. You're up against some of the biggest, well-oiled machines on the planet when it comes to government contracts.
Yeah, and those past performance requirements in the solicitation will tell you if you're going to be included realistically. You know,
Sure.
are they just looking to say, what have you done, and let's talk to the people that you did it for and how well you did it, or are they telling you you have to have done this to this magnitude within this time period? That that's the difference between inclusive and exclusive. So if you don't have that real exact past performance, they're probably looking at one or two people and maybe just one.
And That happens a lot. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
Yep. Which is why it's to what when it hits FBO? Oh, beta.SAM.gov, God forbid. It's too what, Raphael?
If you're going to say it's too late when it gets to Beta SAM, I'm going to have to object.
Okay, you can object. You can object. You're the only person that.
If you don't have a prior relationship, right?
Yeah. If you
look, we're up over 350 wins off FBO, and a lot of our clients had no relationship with the agencies whatsoever. Some of them had never even worked in the industry, and they're killing it now.
That's right. And so there you go. If you want real life, Greg and I disagree on that, and Raphael's in the middle. But I do believe
I'm not saying it's the easy way to do it, but I'm saying it can be done.
I agree. And because of your experience, and you mentioned this before about DECA, for instance. Tell us your DECA story.
Well, we had a company that contacted us because DECA contacted them, and as an 8A company, and wanted to negotiate a 5-year contract with them. And they heard through the grapevine that we had a lot of experience at that point, probably about 40 wins, 5-year wins in that specific industry with DECA. And DECA will present you with the workload estimates and need you to transform that into productivity rates. And they had no idea how to do that. So they came to us, we did the proposal, got them that sole source contract, and they were happy with them enough after their first year performance that we got them a second commissary. And that was 5-6 years ago. So they since graduated from the 8A program. We were contacted about 10 months ago for about another company who was doing some work at Fort Lee, which is the headquarters for DECA. And she wanted to get in and found out that we were kind of that was one of our areas of expertise. So kind of got her ready, kind of do a lot of what Raphael does, getting them ready. And created a capability statement for them, told them to talk to their own SBA rep, talk to the SBA liaison at DECA, and then put her in contact with somebody in the contracting office and worked that relationship for 9 months. And 3 weeks ago, the commissary said, we're going to negotiate with you for this other contract. So my client's finishing out.
How long did you work that? Wait a second. How long did you work that?
About 10 months. And so the company that we helped get into to West Point is graduating, and they're going to lose that. And we're pushing this new company right in the door to operate it for the next 5 years at the tune of about $7 million.
And your internal knowledge of that organization gives you the upper hand. You know a lot about the previous contract vehicles and what they're looking for, and that's I agree. And I'm not saying don't go ahead and bid, just when it hits FBO or beta.SAM.gov, God forbid. I think that to your point, it's both. You don't have to choose either. You can do both.
Absolutely, and you can't do just one thing. You have to do both.
You have to, and your high win ratios come from those relationships and interior knowledge and performance and things like that.
Process.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to point you again to the 90-second challenge. Download this, click on those, take the 90-second challenge, because I'm going to run through what I did in Albuquerque real quick. And that is GSA contract holders. We're looking to find out if there's marketplace. And this is 2 years plus current. We like to look at 2 years because we say, okay, let's find out who's playing in our space right now, who's got the history. Is there market there, Rafael Marrero, $70 billion? I think so.
I think we can squeeze something in there.
I think we can. 120. Now look at this. 123,000 contracts are going to one of the 409 companies. All those contracts, 123,000 contracts, are being split between 409 companies. Take a look at this. 76% are competed between 5 or less. Exactly what we talked about earlier. And of that, there's 6,189 buyers that are responsible for all of that cheese. There's a lot of money there. And this is where we go after them and say, okay, we did this in New Mexico as an example, because it doesn't matter whether you're in California or Maine or New Mexico. It doesn't matter. There's money being spent throughout the federal government. So we hone this down for the folks in New Mexico, and 346 buyers in New Mexico, 6,416 construction contracts, 22 different agencies, $7.1 billion in the past 2 years. I do believe that there's money to be made. That's why we're here, folks. We're here to be able to peel this back, identify how we can get to those people. And my question is, if you're still awake there, Adam, put him in a coma. What is one federal relationship worth? Is it worth 5 to 10,000? There's no wrong answer here, folks. But if you think about a relationship, it could be one sale. You could do it that way, or you could look at it as, if I have repeat sales, how much is that one person working with that one person? It usually mirrors closely what you're doing in the commercial sector. But just and take it your best guess if you're not really sure. 5 to 10,000, 10 to 50,000, 50,000 to 100,000, 100,000 to 500,000, or over $500,000. Let us know what that one relationship is worth. And I want to talk about, once we find these people, I'm going to give you examples of the people that we're after. We've got to find the people, right, Raphael?
Absolutely.
Got to find the people. If we can't find them, it's very difficult for them to know, like, and trust you if you don't have an idea that they exist. So step one, understand who those are. And we'll give you another 5, 4, 3, 2. You can do it. It's painless. 1, and boom, close her down. Show us what we got. Look at that. Oh my goodness, 36%. The top one is $100,000 to $500,000 per relationship, and 46%. Over 500,000. The vast majority, and it adds up to more, but there's obviously some people voted twice, and that's allowed in this aspect. But here we go. Let's take a look at that. Of those 6,189 buyers, we identified people by looking on FBO at the time, now beta.SAM.gov, God forbid, and we came up with these people. This is Herbert Thompson. We came up with also Denise Ferris. Both of these people are responsible for some of those contracts, and not all of those are all that large. They can be right in your sweet spot, and you can build that. So we don't have time to get into finding decision makers, the getting in depth on GovBrief. I wanted to do that, but I love the conversation that we had. So we're not gonna dwell too much on this because we want to be respectful of everybody's time. But I will tell you this, that if you want to reach program people, there's only one way that I figured out how to do it. That is to go out to the world of program managers, and we have 1.2 million federal contacts. Of them, 132,000 are active program managers. You can chase the money to the buyers and the contracting officers and specialists. You can chase the money. However, there's no list of program managers. You can find them opportunity-wise if you're using Deltec or things like that, but that's chasing an opportunity. And most of those are never going to hit anywhere where you see them. We got to go after these folks. We got to figure out how to shake the tree. And what we do is we do briefings, and we press that message out. And I'm going to give you a success in the making, still in the making, because we looked at this last month. And what we do is 4 pre-briefing emails, and one of them is just an announcement. Then we have personal, then we have a reminder, then we have a personal reminder, hey, this briefing is happening. 2 post-briefing emails. Then we do the follow-up, the registrant follow-up, and anybody that clicked. So that's the idea, is trying to figure out who cares about what you do on the program side. Here's what we did. We sent out 14,474 emails. Almost 13,000 made it. Total opens, unique clicks. This is important. We have 3,650 people to follow up with, and well, let's do unique clicks. I'm sorry, 4,874 unique clicks. So that means that they said, hey, I want to find out more about this, and at least read about that briefing. What that does is it puts your name out in front and get you at least some name recognition. And you do this on a regular basis over the course of the year, and they start to remember and equate what you do with your subject matter expertise with what they're doing. And they may not have a requirement right now, which means they're not looking. However, you're still paying them. We had 223 responses, 14 calls received. That means they picked up the phone and said, what is this about? Or can I bring colleagues? Here's the big one. 13 non-published, never hit the street opportunities. Some of those, 7 of them, 7 said they have immediate need right now. That is profound. That's why we do what we do. 79 registered, 13 opportunities, 18 follow-up meetings so far. And that's what we're after. Some of those are face-to-face, by the way. Some of those are on the phone. And you can develop a proactive plan to do that as well. I'm not going to bore you to tears with the next part because we got to get rolling on the next thing. I will say this. This is a success story from one of our clients. Look at this. Got a call from DOL right after the briefing. They attended to see how they can get to us for claims work. Very exciting. And they spoke to the program manager as well as the technical representative. Those are the people that are there. Very important, driving those people into the green. And you're knowing before the stuff hits the street, you're minimizing the competition, and you're creating success for your organization, repeatable, and you can do it as a proactive plan. Find and reach those decision makers, obtain your expert status, 25 plus follow-up meetings within 60 days, and it starts new relationships, because if you don't have past performance, Greg, you better darn sight have a relationship, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We got $1.4 trillion. Raphael, how much cheddar is that?
That's a lot of queso.
That's a lot of queso.
That's it.
That's right. And so what do you need help with? Is it, what do we got there, Adam? I forgot the questions that I usually ask. Do you need help finding buyers? Do you need help finding program managers? Everybody should be clicking all these. You can click as many as you want, but important to you. Finding buyers, finding program managers. What's that?
You forgot certifications, man.
I did. I forgot certifications. If you need help with certifications, put that in the thing. I can't believe I forgot certifications. Oh, something else. Please contact me. There's your certifications, man.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Hey, thanks.
TSA contract. Thanks.
And proposal writing.
What's that?
Yeah.
And proposal writing.
Apparently, you guys are all relegated to something else. Please contact.
We're in the miscellaneous category there.
You are category 5.
Yep.
Anyway, if you need something, well, I'll tell you what. If you don't haven't gotten anything out of this, know that these guys, everybody that's here is here to help you. And I know Raphael and Greg, you absolutely talk to somebody with no obligation, right?
That's right. We give a free, no obligation, 30-minute video consult, and we answer all of your questions candidly.
Yep.
And if nothing more, you walk away with a good, clean understanding of where you are. And
That's exactly right.
Yep.
And I will. And if you don't belong in this business, I'll tell you. And so will Raphael, and so will Greg.
Yep.
So with that, we get another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's see what we got there. Finding buyers, you're absolutely right. Finding program managers, you're absolutely right. Marketing decision makers, I love all you people. And getting a GSA contract, well, there you go. Make sure you get the information for that. And all other people with something else, please contact me. We'll make sure we do that. We do have some questions. Hang on a sec. We're going to get to this, and then we're going to let you go. Oh, how do you go about getting a IDIQ or BPA contract, Stephen? I hope we answered some of that. Is that you got to build the relationship, get to those people, and leverage that. When I reach out to program manager, I've been contacted by the CEO and told not to be calling program managers directly. How to resolve this issue? Don't listen to the CEO. There's your answer. And Crystal said Bloomberg or GovWin. It depends on what you're doing. Both of those are great programs, and they're focused on opportunities. If you're chasing opportunities, either one of those is good. Any feedback on either one of those, Raphael or Greg? Raphael first.
Well, GovWin is great. I mean, I've worked with 4 or 5 tools, but the most important thing, I mean, Deltek is great. So go for Deltek if they want a quick answer. To me, the most important thing is to have a process, right? And to have a process, to have crystal clear materials that are ready to be in the hands of government buyers and key decision makers, right? And to have your organization presented in the most memorable, positive fashion, because first impressions are everything, right? So checking your T's, dotting your I's, getting your ducks in a row, very, very important. That's why we say get ready before you launch, right? Have a strategy together.
Yep. And nothing. There is no panacea, right? There's no silver bullet.
Nope.
And the fact of the matter is, if you're looking for one, stop. There's nothing that replaces the hard work that you're going to have to do and dedication of resources that you're going to have to do to be successful. GovWin, great place to be able to check and say, all right, who's playing in this space? If you're tracking an opportunity that's above 500,000, that's where they specialize in. They have a lot of great information. They do have the capacity to do some research for you. Be careful when you do that. When you ask for it, be careful, because I had a couple different times where I said, I want to know about this, and then they did the research and then published it for everybody, and I don't want everybody to know what I'm after. So hopefully that helps. If you want to learn more about ISI Federal, you can go to ISI. So go to YouTube. We got a ton of stuff up there that you can watch for hours, I'm certain. I'm also on LinkedIn. Please reach out to me on LinkedIn. You can go to isifederal.com or call us at 888-9-GET-ISI. That's 888-9-GET-ISI, because we help with the representation, the marketing, the vehicles we shove to different people, like Jamie over there, and representation and proposal and bid management. And bid management, what we mean by that is if you have a GSA contract, make sure you go to QuickFuse, QUIKFUSE.com. You get 30 days for free, and if you stay for a year, I'm telling you, and you got to stay for a year, and then come to the Monday roundtables, which are included for free. We will do the dialogue to help you win. I'm telling you, we'll do that. Reach out to Jamie, El Presidente of GSAlogic.net. He helps folks get GSA contracts. Jamie, say parting comments.
Folks, give me a call if you have any questions. We're here to help. I'm very much a telephone kind of guy. I've had kind of a rusty cold lately, as if you couldn't tell, just a little bit, but getting better. Please give me a call. Love to hear from you. Love to help people out. Been in this business a long time, and we're here to make things smooth and easy.
There you go. And he does a great job, 100% track record. And Mr. Greg Clark with DKA Associates, or DK is, what is that? DK Associates, I guess, right?
DKA. Logo behind. So if you're interested in bidding on government contracts or moving into the federal marketplace, give me a call.
Yep, and he will definitely help you. And what I love is that we don't have. You got a great process for being able to win on FBO, and we love it. Rafael Marrero, how can they get those certifications, my good man, down in South Florida?
Well, the first thing they do is they have a one-on-one Babalu session with me. So we get them on a video consult, and we'll see which program they qualify for. We won't give them sunshine. We'll tell them that they pre-qualify so they don't waste their time. Yeah. And then we will tell them these are the right programs for you. This is a strategy to pursue. And if they're already certified, let's say that they're already certified, they may qualify for an additional certification. They may not know that 35% of their employees live in a hub zone and that they are located in a hub zone, right?
Could be.
And there are other programs they may qualify for, or their marketing materials for government are not appropriate or not up to snuff. We can help them with that and get them contract procurement ready. Get ready.
We're gonna do one on capabilities and your overall presentation. We got to do that. We're gonna do a special session on that. And I thought I had it in here to show off some of your stuff, and I lied apparently.
Yeah.
But we were completely out of time.
It was redacted.
It's redacted. Oh my gosh. All right, we do this every second Tuesday of the month. You are welcome to join us. It is completely 100% free. I hope that everybody enjoyed it and that you got something out of this and that you started to understand how the federal government works if you're new to it, or how you can expand in your federal government, because you're here for a reason. We want to get out. We want to get in front of those folks. We want to help you in your preparation. We want to help you with your push. We want to help you with the contract vehicles, and we want to help you with your responses. That's what we do. We're here because these resources are necessary. If you don't have them on staff, that's what we're here for. That is exactly why we're here. Give us a call. You can reach out to me at any time at dlow@isifederal.com. There's my direct number. Not hiding from anybody. Would love to talk with you. And the same thing applies is if you have a question, reach out to any one of us. We'll be glad to help. And we will be glad to see you next month. Happy New Year to everybody. And I'm glad nobody asked me about why The Ravens lost on Saturday. God bless me, that was terrible. All right.
Take
I want
care.
to end on a positive note, but I can't because they lost. All right. See you guys.
See you.